Hey guys, I just wanted to give you a little view of my garden and some little tricks I've learned. May or may not work for you, just thought I'd throw them out there. Alright, so I'm already out here. I'm gonna water some while we're out here. There's a park just over the wall in my backyard, so it is kind of noisy. Anyway, let me show you the garden. Alright, what we have here is we have 2 rows of zucchini and then 2 rows of yellow squash and then pumpkins. And then a box of tomatoes. Let's see, and we'll go down here next to the chicken coop. And we've got a box of green beans. And back here, see, that's, I was going to do a potato box. That's sweet potatoes, and that one back there is russets. We just haven't been keeping up on them. They're kind of a little too much work this year. And these are trellises that I made. Over here are pole green beans, and then these are all cucumbers. And the other 2 trellises that are in this box are all butternut squash. You can see here's a fun looking one right there. So first of all, the trellises are made of metal electrical conduit, and they measure about 10 feet wide, and it's supposed to be about 5 feet tall. These have kind of driven into the ground some. Down here at the base, what we have holding them up is a piece of rebar, and this middle one, this didn't happen last year, but this middle one, you can pull it back and forth. You know, it's not supposed to move, but it does, and it's all right. And so here's the back side. Right here, it's not getting a whole lot of sun because there's neighbor's bush right there. But we've learned, and what we're going to do, these last year, these were over here where the potato boxes are. So we're not going to do the potato boxes anymore. But you're supposed to build them up. See, this one has 2. We're going to build them up like that, and then, but it was so hot this summer that it just didn't work out very well. These are my tomato cages that I got at a yard sale for a quarter piece. So, oh, also, you see the little fencing here. That's to keep the pumpkins from taking over the green beans or the tomatoes. Anyway, so, okay, so the trellis, I told you about the conduit piping, but what this is a nylon trellis. It's a 5x10 measurement that I got at Home Depot, and Lowe's doesn't carry them, or at least never had them in stock, so I got it at Home Depot. I don't know where else you can get them. You can always search online. Let's look here at the tomatoes. I don't have them in cages. I do what my dad does, and he stakes them and then ties them. I actually find that's probably a lot easier. But I kind of staked them late in the season. I had to have my husband make some. We had bought these green ones last year, and they're like 6 feet tall. And they've just not been, I mean, they're okay. But the wooden stakes work just fine, and you can use them for a few years. It's a lot cheaper. We bought a 2x6 and then cut them into little 2-inch sections. Here you can see my pumpkins are coming way out. So question is, how many pumpkins are in this big mess? Well, it looks like we've got about 8 growing. I get, with these pumpkin and squash, if I touch them with my hands, I get really itchy. But there's a pumpkin there, and then you can kind of see there's a green one right next to it. There's another orange one back there. What I did here with the squash is you have to really keep up on it, but you can feed them up through tomato cages. Some have fared better than others, and some have kind of fallen over. One right here is completely fallen over. And this one, you can see the stake. Well, I had to stake it because it did fall over. But the reason I put them through the tomato cages is because it takes up less space. So now I have one back here that's like perfect. I didn't cage them all because I didn't have enough cages, but this one is about perfect. You can see that they grow right up through the middle, and sometimes as they're coming up you can't quite see them because they are as dark as the middle stem. This is for the zucchini, but yeah, it works really well. Seems to work better with the zucchini than with the yellow squash, but more importantly you have to keep up on it every day. So I just watered these, and of course it's just started sprinkling, but I wanted to show you some of these butternut squash. There's one there. I used to clip all the dead stuff out, and really it helps by the end of the year, but it's not that big of a deal. There's one just starting. There's another, that with the round leaves is Morning Glory. There's another starting one, and there's a bigger one down there. I've got a bunch. Seems like a lot less than last year. There's one hiding up there, but not too bad. It'll last us the winter, that's for sure. Okay, with the green beans, I wanted to show you some things about them. I've never grown green beans before, so this is pretty awesome, really. Here they are when they just start out. They're pretty cool, little tiny things. And here's some that are overgrown. I noticed them when I was watering. They're not overgrown. I've had some a lot bigger. This is about the size my mom likes to pick them. I like to pick them just a little bit smaller. Well, okay, that's a little too small. But anyway, they're just a little more tender when they're smaller. And then you have to like move everything around so you can see. Aha! Here's one hiding. I saw this one. These two left, yes, while I was watering them, because it pushes the leaves out of the way. I pull the brown leaves off because they just kind of get in the way. Sometimes the whole stem will come out too. And I just throw them on the ground next to it, or throw it in the chicken yard, or just leave them on the bottom of the bed. I have no idea which is best yet. All these I planted later in the season, and I did these. Some of these I did from starts, and some of them I just put seeds in the ground. I think I will put seeds in the ground next year, and I'm also doing 2 beds of them next year because they are my favorite. You have to blanch them first, which is you just boil them in water for a little bit, and then I fry them up after that, or saute them. You want to be fancy? So that's just some things I want to show you with my garden. Nothing fancy. And so, yeah, that's it. I hope you like this little, hope you like this little glimpse into my garden. This is what I do now. I'm a full-time stay-at-home mom again. And anyway, if you have any questions or comments about the methods I use, feel free to ask. Leave comments, click like, and subscribe. Thanks.